Okay, this is a canvas that I marked it off once, but I want to do a video on how to mark off a larger canvas where you don't have a straight edge that meets end to end. This will work on a very large canvas. This one's not quite as big as what you might run across, but enough to where we can see how to do this. Okay, we're outside. This is a carpenter's string, and it's used to mark off sheetrock and when it's blue or wood, but for this it's used for carpet when you put in white chalk. And in fact, most of them have a little place to open up for putting in the chalk. Mine's right about here. It won't open up, but you kind of see the chalk in there. Then I put in the white chalk and I can run the string out. Now you notice all the stuff coming off of this. There's an awful lot of chalk. So before we start marking off a board, we want to take this outside and run off enough string here. And then I'll take a paper towel and run it down there. You can see a lot of the chalk coming off of it. And probably a couple of times here, because otherwise you get too much chalk on your canvas. Okay, there's still going to be plenty of chalk on there. You can kind of see when I do pluck it a little bit, there's plenty of chalk coming off of there. So we got enough. Don't roll it back up inside of here now, because if you do, it'll re-chalk it. So we just want to run off what we need. Alright, so we take our chalk string that we've cleaned off outside, get the corner up here, come down and make sure we get the corner down here at the end. We don't have to pull it real tight, but snug. Then we just lift it up and snap it like that, and what we get is this chalk line down through here. You may not be able to see it too well on the yellow. You can see it pretty good here. You may have to use a straight edge to get it on extended up here. But then once we get an edge from here to here, the next thing is to get our reciprocal lines from either opposite corner that these two are not attached to. So in order to do that, let's do this one over here. What we do is we go ahead and put it on that corner, and then we get a triangle or something with a square corner. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put that square corner and then move this line until this edge right here aligns with this diagonal, which in this case is a sinister diagonal. And then also we want to be able to be flat on this string over here. So now probably be better off if I had a little shorter triangle, because I'm ending up underneath the clip up here. But that's pretty good. And then we can snap that. Probably want to move this and snap it. And then to do the opposite corner, what we'll do is the same thing. And come up here. This time we want to lay the triangle on the top and let gravity help to pull it down for us. Of course, we want to get this edge here on our sinister diagonal, and then move this chalk line to where it lines up with the other edge of the triangle. Sometimes it helps to have three hands to do this with. And also if it's laying flat, it's a little bit easier also. So try to get right in there. And that looks like that's pretty good. And then we snap that. And then that gives us our diagonal down through here, sinister diagonal, and our reciprocal here, and a reciprocal here. Then all we have to do is do it from the other direction. And probably won't go through all of this, but start off at least with the Baroque diagonal. Snap it, we get our line, and then remember we've got from here to here, so now what we need to do is along this line, come from this corner and be straight with this and mark it down there. So I don't know, let's try to do it and see. At least this one anyway. And then I want to get this in here. Try to get that flat. This would be better, like I say, if I had a smaller triangle. And then we get there. Looks like we're lined up pretty good. And we snap it. Gives us our other one. Chalk's starting to run out on this, so I might want to reel this back in, re-chalk it, and then pull the chalk off of it. And then the next thing we want to do is get the diagonal from the other end, so we want to get from down here and get it up this way. See if I can get this. Trick is to get the right diagonal. I almost had one of the reciprocal diagonals. And get right with that. Okay. Pretty close there. And then snap that down there. And then that gives us our angles. Now, like I say, if you have somebody else helping you out with this, it goes a little bit easier, especially if you're doing some big canvas. Okay, when I did this, I found out that one of the angles was off, and the reason I knew that was because these points down here where this crosses and where this cross, they should be directly over the top of each other, and I think they were off just a little bit. So I went back and found out where it was off at, and it turned out to be this one right here was off a little bit. So I went back and corrected it. I think I wasn't quite on this corner down here. And once I did that, then these lined up. You also notice that this distance from here to here is about the same as it is up here. Now you won't get off more than likely on the Baroque angle or the sinister angle. It'll be one of these angles that are the reciprocals that are based off of this. Now you can use a triangle, and I think I was off a little bit on my triangle somehow. But you could, instead of a triangle, you could use something like a carpenter square if you got a really large canvas. But anyway, once you do that correctly, you will have these over the top. Now, right now in this ratio of canvas, these lines will cross like this. But if I went to a canvas where this height was the same, but I went to a wider scale, then what would happen is that these would kind of move out like this, and they would cross like up here. But they would cross up here and be directly over the ones that would be down here at this point. So that's the way to tell if you've done it right. Now you could be off just because you missed the 90-degree angle there, but you could be off because these corners may not be 90 degrees. So the first thing to do would be check to make sure you get a canvas where these are at 90 degrees on these corners here. If they're not, this is going to be askew. Once it's askew like that, then what you'd want to do is try to figure out how to maybe measure the diagonal from here to here, measure the diagonal from here to here, and then the longer side come in, and then cut off your canvas to where you know where you've got a nice 90-degree corners to work off of. Okay, I hope this will help you be able to get a grid on larger size canvases using a carpet chalk line and either a triangle or a carpenter square. And I'd like to thank you for watching this with me, and I hope you're able to be real successful with marking off the grids. And good luck to you.